Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about the entire crypto market, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course, I always do greatly appreciate it. So overall, it is the weekend, so the indices are not open, but I will say this, in terms of addressing these three, they didn't look too good closing out on Friday, aka yesterday. But nonetheless, the main thing that I want to reiterate a little bit is just kind of focusing on Bitcoin right now. I'm still going to be focusing on these closely. Mainly, I told you guys to watch the dollar. Again, very similar to the stocks. This will not be moving until Monday again. On Monday, we should be hoping for this massive drop on the dollar, aka that major pullback. I am watching that 200-day EMA very closely at about 95.5. That's the point that I want to see it back at. Now, when we are talking about altcoins, when we're talking about this, market in general, I know everyone wants to get, extremely rich. Trust me, I'm there with you guys. I want to see altcoins go to the moon. We have a little bit of time until that happens. Now, I have been accumulating. I told you guys yesterday that I have been buying Casper heavily. We are actually up a pretty good amount from yesterday's bottoms at around like 7 p.m. and stuff. So that's pretty good. I do think that Casper has an incredible future. I made a video on it last night, but I'm not going to be addressing too much in terms of price charts right now for altcoins. I really just want to talk to you guys about two. So the total to the altcoin market on the daily looks pretty strong, right? As long as we hold that 50-day EMA, we are still good. If we don't hold that 50-day EMA, things are going to get a little rough. And when I say, things are going to get a little rough, it mainly just means that when we are talking about altcoins, we will see deeper corrections, most likely down to that fib level of let me see what this is. I believe it is the 618. Yes. So the 618 has been a key area, not only in terms of support, but it is also a support or a resistance zone for the indices as well. I've been addressing this with the Dow Jones, even the Nasdaq, and also even the S&P 500. Now, when we are addressing this and talking about it closely, I will say this. The main thing that I'm watching for is just a total to hold this. It is also on the weekly too. You guys can see this on the weekly, except it is the 10-day EMA. As long as we hold this level, we are still in that nice little pattern of, guess what, a higher low being in place. So here's our low, followed by, a higher low on the weekly right here. And again, followed by yet another higher low. Now, if we can kind of continue this, sort of path, of course, these are weekly candles. It's going to be a little bit slow until it's not slow, similar to back here where we did start to have that next major breakout event. But ultimately, the next major candle should break out of the 702. That's why I'm watching this week coming up closely. But what we need to focus on is the weekly candle close. The weekly candle close for Bitcoin is crucial. Shout out to Credible Crypto for this. But, he's saying the weekly candle closes in 2 days. Now it closes tomorrow, by the way, Sunday. And we want to close inside / above the blue region, shown here to maintain this as a bullish retest. Intra-week, we can go lower. It's the close that matters. Further confirmation on the lower time frame break in market structure and then a higher low. So here he's essentially saying we want to have this nice little dip down to around like almost 42K exact, followed by that nice structure pump to about like roughly 45.5K, somewhere within that region, coming down, retesting around like 43.5K to make that higher low, and then followed by a retest of course, the resistance at about 48K. Just kind of show you what he's talking about. So we already have on the daily sort of that retest of that major low. This is that point at around like 42K exact. The significance around this area holding is this actually was, significant resistance at some point in time, like around this point in March. But we have kind of turned it into support now. It's not the first time this level was a little bit of support, but it is, not a very strong area for support, which tells me, could we come down a little bit lower? to possibly test like 42K exact. I mean, it's not going to be like, a main area or anything like that. I would say, honestly, the 236, 41 point, almost 5K would be the strongest point for us to test. But if we do have a nice bounce off of this, and if we do try to retest somewhere within that 45 to 46K area, more so this 45.2K area, which is resistance. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. Which is this area here. We would have that similar structure to what he is talking about, where we have this nice bounce here, followed by a little bit of a correction at about like 43.5K, and then followed by that retest of resistance, hoping to break out here to retest the resistance up here at about 48K, hoping to break out of that so that we could actually go to 50K plus, ultimately retesting a major support or a major resistance level up here, which would be at around roughly this 702 at about 58.2K. Now, again, this is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take a little bit of a process. But I do believe that we have seen that nice corrective basis where we do come down, test these nice, lows, followed by a little bit of a high. It's like a lower high, if you will, because this is not breaking out or anything like that, followed by, again, a lower or a higher low, which we've been seeing higher lows put in place since going back to January. So the structure, like I said, is a fairly timely, structure being put in place, but we have to wait and see exactly where this leads us tomorrow, because tomorrow is the key area to watch for Bitcoin. Now, on the weekly, so let me get rid of the drawing real quick so that you guys could actually kind of see what I'm talking about here. So 1 second. So as we are, really kind of watching this and we're talking about things. So we kind of broke down below all EMAs except for one, and that is the 200-day EMA. That's why everyone is kind of calling for like 26K. I don't think that we get there at all. I believe that when we are talking about the current structure, this is, fairly strong support. Mainly the support that we are actually kind of looking at and addressing is 43K exact. That is also where the idea on like retesting 43K or like 43.5K comes into play. It's going back to the September lows. The September lows wick down. That's why on the daily it kind of looks a little bit weird. There's not a lot of support around this region that we are at currently, but it looks like we are holding this line strongly. Again, we have to wait till see tomorrow, but I think that this is one massive bear trap before we have that major, bull run, if you will. And the reason why I say that like we shouldn't be too bearish on Bitcoin right now, it's just the idea that like the structure has not failed to play out perfectly so far. We've had massive, sort of, I would say when we're talking about, fear and greed, we've had this like sentiment around this market kind of change drastically over the last couple days. We were very bullish, followed by very bearish, and now everyone's kind of seen like the adoption happening. We're seeing CEOs of hedge funds, financial institutions flipping bullish on, of course, crypto, and it ultimately tells me that right now everyone is a little bit fearful. This is like the perfect time to accumulate, in my opinion. Now, again, why is it? Well, first off, the periods between dormancy flow exiting the green zone and the 3-week bullish vortex cross have offered some of the best buy opportunities for Bitcoin over the last 10 years. Asymmetry very much to the upside here in my view. Enjoy your weekend. And here we have the dormancy flow currently. Here's the dormancy flow during 2020, which led to that 2021 run. Also 2019 as again. Also, if we go back here to about like 2015, 2016, you guys can see Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's the white line here, as you guys do see. But you do see, again, the dormancy flow. Every single time that we've had this, it caused Bitcoin to go on a little bit of a tear. Here's that 2021 highs, right? Here's the 2017, 2018 highs. I mean, you could clearly see where dormancy does play a vital role in understanding where, of course, Bitcoin is. Now, also, look at the bottom structure here. You guys could see the crossing events. Every single time that we've crossed, we've had that nice impulse on, again, Bitcoin. So we are watching Bitcoin very closely, especially this weekly candle close. Now, also, is the bottom in. For the fourth time in Bitcoin's history, we have entered the green zone. The last 3 times this occurred, the Bitcoin bottom was already in and a massive bullish uptrend followed. Probably nothing, right? So this is why I'm watching Bitcoin tomorrow, but this is also why I'm watching Bitcoin this week coming up. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to have that nice little, bull market run, aka that Bitcoin season, right? When we talk about Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance has been looking pretty strong, finding that support at around this range at 41.31%. This is significant because this is also, around the range of the support from June of 2021 before this went on that major run as high as roughly 48.95%, followed by that crashing structure, which led alt on a major run. Again, this is why I'm watching Bitcoin, because I think on this next major run, it's going to be our possible wave 5 on the macro view. Of course, on the micro view, yes, we will have these retests of lows. It's going to be a little bit of a slow, drawn-out process, but ultimately, it will lead us to that wave 5 structure of the 120 to 160K targets. Also, we do see here, for those wondering if this is still valid, still on support and still valid with good accuracy so far, spot the circles on the chart. And again, here is Bitcoin, followed by this sentiment cycle. Again, the overall structure here is a lot of individuals kind of worried, they're panicking, they're fearful, all while, the overall chart is putting us a better picture on where, again, Bitcoin is. On the macro view, even on altcoins, right? So we talk about XRP, we talk about Hbar, we talk about XLM, we talk about QNT. Those assets right now, a lot of them look very similar. Even on the XRP chart, right? I've been addressing the XRP chart almost daily now. But you look at this, and it's building this strong fundamental support, going as far back as the December 6th candle. A lot of altcoins are building support like this. You look at XLM. Again, building support. Hbar, building support, right? Look at this. The support has been building out. And the reason why these are holding like this, the reason why a lot of these assets are holding this support line, this one's actually holding at the fib level of the $118 level, almost $119 level at the 236. The reason why these are holding is because of the total 2. As long as the total 2 holds this fundamental line, the 10-day EMA on the weekly, and on the daily, the 200-day EMA, or not the 200-day, the 50-day EMA, sorry, at about roughly 1.10 trillion, almost 1.11, then we are golden. If we do break this, then I do get a little bit concerned. But we have seen this in the past, right? We have seen this level being tested multiple times. In fact, even going back as far as, August, we've settled on the support zone before we went on this major rally. And of course, there will be pullbacks, there will be retests of support along the way, but alts and Bitcoin still look extremely strong. Is the Bitcoin low in? Is the bottom in officially for Bitcoin? In my opinion, yeah. We, of course, have to watch tomorrow closely to see if this, is validated. But in my opinion, I believe that we are either at or around the bottom, because from here it could only go so low, right? Again, are we talking about, where are we talking about the lowest point for Bitcoin being? It's around 38K. If we lose that, then it's on the micro view, things are going to get very rough. But that is also why we are watching things very closely. Again, I do want to reiterate a target of mine. It is breaking out of this 48.2K zone. Because if we do, look at October. This is crucial for us. This led us to the all-time highs. So this will be the key structure to break out. I am hoping that, followed by this, drop down here, similar to what Cred is seeing, right? If we have that nice retest of, resistance here, followed by that nice little, higher low at around this range here, I hope that this next one breaks us out of this resistance, because if we do break out of this resistance, we might settle around a little, point somewhere within this range, right? Coming down, possibly breaking down a little bit, to that nice resistance zone, turning that into support, followed by a break of 50K plus to retest the 618. Now, again, we'll most likely trade sideways within this range up here. We'll probably just take a little bit of time to actually break out of that 618. But we will ultimately break out of that 618 and test the all-time high. Now, it's not going to be straight lines up. Similar to the structure back here, this is what we're kind of looking at in terms of a building structure to that topping point. But I do believe that Bitcoin is still in a bull run. I do believe that altcoins are still very strong because the support is showing it. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.